Hey, this is Dan here from RUNESILK, and I'm joined by one other, and that's none other than Damo for show, and this is the Beardmail podcast. So sit back, listen, and enjoy.
The Beardmail boys are back in town for Q&A part 2. That's a lovely Damo pose going on. Dan, how are you?
Screenshot it. That's my entry for Thursday.
Nice. We are back, Dan, for part 2. Q&A was such a huge success, and we have so much more to do. We couldn't even cram it all into one episode, so we've spanned it over 2. I've just found a sock for those of you wondering what I was doing down there. But yes, Q&A, Dan. It's exciting times, isn't it, in the Beardmail house? Boom!
Beardmail. Yeah, that was a really good episode, actually. I quite enjoyed that. So much so. Really looking forward to part 2. So, again, I still haven't seen any of these questions, so they are literally as much of a surprise as finding Santa Claus in the kitchen.
Yes, and I also haven't read an encyclopedia for about three or 4 months. So if I do come out with any sort of interesting facts or information or anything that you think, wow, that Damo guy's really clever, it's probably because I'm just remembering from when I did obviously read stuff from an encyclopedia earlier on this last year. So there we go. Right. Just to put you in the picture, if you haven't listened to the last episode, is we asked all the guys and girls in our Facebook group, Beardmail, and we asked them if they had any questions they'd like to ask, and we'd give them a shout out. So we did that, but there were so many, we need to do more. So today we're going to be shouting out Paul Triggs, Tony Southwood, Steve Cook, Lewis Hickman, Shane Smith, Gavin Irwin, Scott Harris, and Red Paul 7. So what's that? That's about another 9 questions, I think. Dan, are you excited?
Yeah, we've got to nail these then in like 3 minutes a question. Let's go. We can do this. 2 minutes a question. Beardmail. Let's go.
I like that. Yeah, let's go rapid. Right. Paul Triggs. Do you remember Paul Triggs from the olden days? I went on Hair Wars with him, Channel 5. Anyway, Paul Triggs says, if you could be in any horror film, what one would it be and why?
Yes. Next question.
No, but what would it be and why?
Horror film. To be honest, look, we've done episodes on zombies before and horror stuff, and I am quite obsessed with zombies. But I think the worst, most scary horror film that you could put me in is where food doesn't exist. That would be really horrible. But that's not the most. That's not the horror film that I would want to be in. That's the least wanted. But I'd say it has to be a horror film because a zombie film, because I think I quite like the aspect of that sort of post-apocalyptic kind of. I'm already preparing for an apocalypse, so I want to. Sometimes I get a little bit. Wouldn't it be fun?
So, what character would you be in which film?
Oh, 100%. I don't know about films because I'm more thinking series. But if it wasn't a film and it was zombies and it was a series, I'd 100% have to be Daryl from Walking Dead because he's just fucking awesome as fuck.
But obviously,
and he hasn't been killed yet.
But you'd be Dan, right? So you'd still be Dan Jones, but you would be you'd be going for the crossbow. You'd be you'd be on the side of the humans, and you'd be going around, killing stuff, doing stuff, saving people, and just being very similar to Daryl. Is that what you're saying?
100%, yeah.
Nice.
But in reality, I'd be the first one eaten because I'm slow and fat. But then we can dream.
You'd turn into a zombie, and then you'd just be able to eat all day. Just eat humans all day. You could just eat and eat and eat, and it wouldn't matter. You just eat. Yeah.
But then what if someone shot my head off? And then I'd be dead.
That's true. You feel for a minute because I've got to have a think about this one because I haven't really thought about it. I was so excited about asking you the question. I didn't really think what my answer would be. A horror film. Which one?
You'd have to be the winner, right? If you surely, you're not going to go. Yeah, I want to be the person that dies first, so I can get this shit over and done with.
I don't know. if for example, like I don't know, in like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, was there ever a character that she sucked the
life out of?
Yeah, that's it. It's like I would go for that if that's an option. I'm just trying to think, what other horror films are there where something really cool happens to somebody? Because that's what I would do. Does anybody become a multi-billionaire in a horror film, or do something great? Or did Pamela Anderson ever do a horror film? somebody got to like have a go on a knockers or anything like that?
Wasn't she? Wasn't she in Scary Movie or something? Maybe she was in a Scary Movie, like a spoof one.
A parody.
Do you know what? I would probably maybe I'll be in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but I'll be in the UK. I'll play the part of the guy that's in England that narrates.
Oh, I see. I thought you were going to be the actual guy with the chainsaw. Because I suppose you could be like, would you be the villain or would you be the savior in any of them?
I wouldn't want to be the villain. I wouldn't want to be the villain because everyone hates the villain, and I'm not into that kind of shit.
What about Halloween, right? So Mike Myers is walking down the street really slow, and like, wouldn't you like to just be the guy in the street that just goes over to mate pack at him, and he comes over and you just knock him out, and then that's it, and then he gets arrested, and it's the end of the film. What about
when
that?
The credits come up. 30-second film, just like this question should have been.
And over. What is the scariest film ever? That's what I'm going to be in. What is it?
The Fly.
That's not scary.
It was when I was a kid.
Gremlins. Gremlins used to scare the shit out of me when I was a kid. If I could be in a horror movie, I'd be in Gremlins. And although I watched it as an adult and it's terrible, but as a kid it was really scary. And I would be, I'd be the guy who gets to look after Mowgli and basically doesn't fucking get him wet and doesn't feed him after 12 o'clock. Job done.
Isn't Mowgli the guy from the little kid from Jungle Book?
That's it. Yeah, the little one. But if he gets wet, he multiplies, and then if you feed him, he turns into Baloo.
Isn't he called Mogwai?
Yeah, that's it. There's a crossover there. There's a bit of a crossover there, Dan.
Mowgli's the little jungle boy who makes friends with a bear in the jungle.
That's not a horror film, though, is it?
Well, it could be. It depends how you look at it. Technically,
you're thinking about the frog and the monkey. That's a horror story.
It's for the frog, yeah. He's still got PTSD now. He's like, oh, I can still taste it.
Stop right there. Let's move on to another question. This is from Tony Southwood. He says, what's yours and Dan's thoughts on beard brands that don't have CPSRs? Should they still be allowed to sell their products even though it is against the law? Tony, we just had a wonderful experience of going through horror movies, and now we're going to talk about beards and stuff. This is over to you, Dan. Over to you.
Well, I mean, technically, the question was answered in the question, really, wasn't it? I mean,
yeah, it's illegal.
You know, should they be selling it? Well, no, it's illegal. Do people get away with it? Yeah, of course they do. You know, I'm sure there's people out there that have got cosmetic product safety reports, but yet haven't actually taken the step to list them on the UK cosmetic portal. So therefore, you know, it's such a big topic, isn't it, online, and see a lot of it on Facebook and Instagram. And it's, yeah, you could do a whole episode on CPSRs and should you, shouldn't you, you know, should you buy a fake Armani watch? Yeah, if you can't afford one, a real one, maybe. I don't know. There's like so much different things on the moral compass around cosmetic product safety reports. I think, you know, look, if you're a complete and utter cock that's trying to make a fast buck by just putting a load of shit in a bottle and selling it without having any CPSRs, then yeah, I don't think you should be selling it. 100%. I don't know. Yeah, it's a difficult one. We could do a whole episode on that. Short answer: well, obviously, no, it's illegal. You shouldn't be selling it.
What do you do then if you buy stuff and you don't know whether it is or not? Because it's not like, from my perspective, I don't make my own stuff, so I've not got that deep into CPSRs. And I know, like, obviously Tony used to do the UK beard portal, and that was, you know, that's cool. Tony and Docs, they were doing their thing, and that was a way for them to sort of monitor it, if you like, because there's no like CPSR police, is there? But at least they were monitoring it, so you knew, and they would talk about if the companies had it or not. But like, for example, I've started buying a bit of stuff on Etsy just to try it out. And the latest stuff I've got, like, I don't know if it's CPSR or not. So what should I actually do? Like, should I send it back and say, well, this isn't certified, and get my money back? Or like, what can you do? Like, I can't phone the police, can I? And say, look, I think I bought some shit.
No, the police won't do anything. Trading standards might do something about it at some point, but it's unlikely. I think, look, I mean, you know, you've got there's a lot of ground. Like, I mean, I've spoken to market traders, like big market traders. When I've gone in there and said, oh, you know, I'd love to come and have a stand here, and I've got all of our cosmetic product safety reports, they're like, what's that? Should most of our traders have those? I'm like, well, yeah, probably they should, but they probably don't have them. You know, it's such a difficult ground, isn't it? I mean, look, if you're a real small crafter and you're doing small batch soaps, and you're literally taking a melt and pour product, putting some colors and some scent in there. Most of them probably haven't got cosmetic product safety reports because they're so small. They're thinking, well, I'm only doing this as a side vibe. Like, what's the odds I'm going to get caught? And two, I really don't have the money to be putting this. I've got 17,000 different soaps. Maybe a slight exaggeration. I don't have the money to get all those tested. So I don't know, man. Like, it's one of those, isn't it? Like, if you've got a product and it's off of someone who's doing a bit of a craft on the side and they've made you a beard oil, like if you put it on your face and it starts to burn a little bit, then complain. Like, obviously, yeah, they've probably put far too much on. But then at the same merit, most people who are making beard oils, if you're so small, if you're that small, that you're not going to be pushing the boundaries on scent. You're probably not even putting 3%. You're probably not even putting 1% of a scent blend in your product anyway. So the reality is, are you actually going to get damage from it? Probably not. Is it ethical to have it? Yes. Is it ethical to not to trade without it? No. I don't know, man. It's one of those, isn't it? Like, obviously we have our cosmetic product safety reports in place because we are a brand that's trying to grow bigger than just your average small batch market trader. You know, we've got a registered trademark for the brand. So therefore, you know, the way we look at it is because we're out there, more people are looking at us. You know, we'd be stupid not to have cosmetic product safety reports because we're putting ourselves out there. If you're just a little market stall holder, a little crafty, little Jane or Dave, you know, got a little market stall. You know, they've just got a market stall. They probably haven't. Are their products shit? Probably not. They're probably no better or any worse than anything that's already on the market today. But from a legal standpoint, I do get why people kind of question it because, you know, I think it depends how seriously you're taking your game. If you're a serious beard care provider, yeah, you know, 100%. If you're just doing a little craft vibe on the side, you know, I don't want to be caught on camera saying, "Oh, don't worry about it," because realistically, you should, and you should have your products listed on the cosmetic portal, on the cosmetic portal as well, the UK safety portal, which a lot of people probably haven't done, or even know it's a thing that needs to be done.
I didn't even know about it.
So it was the EU cosmetic portal, but then we left the EU and it got changed over to the UK portal, and you had about 9 months after we left the EU to transfer everything from the EU portal to the UK portal. Am I guilty of being a bit late putting them on the UK portal? Yes, because I'm so shit with admin. Sometimes I might release a product and go, oh shit, it's not on the UK portal. Get it on the portal. You know, that's what insurance is for.
Smooth answer, Dan. I'm just looking. Sorry, I was looking at the names. I've got a question now that is out of this world. So well done. Thanks for the technical stuff and all that. That's your game. Very good. Well done. Good answer. I hope, Tone, I hope you're right with that, mate. I hope that's made all sense. Clarified it all for you. But this next question, nobody knows the answer to, and it's from Steve Cook. Hello, Steve Cook, with your fabulous face and beard. Now, this takes a bit of dissecting, Dan, right? Because I'm going to read it all out in one go, but help me along because I'm a bit unsure about what he's really trying to say, right? Weight for weight, there is an equal weight of ants for every single person on the planet. Right. So I think that's just a statement. I think he's saying the same amount of weight of ants and the same amount of people. That's an interesting fact in itself. I think that's just clarifying. The question, could you fight and win against your own body weight in ants?
No.
So I'm just trying to picture that. Does it mean, like, for example, I'm 105 kilograms and I'm on the way down, right? So 105 kilograms of ants all put together in one mass might be like bigger than me, right? I would imagine.
Yeah, it'd be much bigger than you. It'd be if you think if you were to take like a bag of ants, like 100-gram bag of ants would probably be like that big. So
Right.
if you're 105
let's
kilos,
say it's a house, yeah, or more.
it's like fighting a house. But the problem is that you've got so many. Like, you couldn't stamp on all of them because they'd just be biting you. You'd literally just have billions and billions and billions and billions and billions and billions of ants just biting you all over. So no, you wouldn't win.
Now, it also says, point one, no weapons. right? So you already assumed that, really, didn't you? You were already bare knuckle fighting the ants, weren't you?
Yeah, I'm like that.
Just you and your body weight and ants. So we're guessing roughly it's like a house size of ants fighting against you, no weapons. And it also says the type of ant you would be fighting would be local to your region or country. Because you've said about ants biting you, but do the ants in the UK bite, and them little black ones?
They will bite, yeah, but obviously you get some proper savage bastards in different parts of the world. Although I think I do have a tech, I think I do have a strategy of how I do it, and it would just be to roll. Just literally, no, just roll, sideways roll, like stop, drop, and roll, like you would if you were in a fire, and just roll. Just because you just hope that you can just steamroll. Actually, I'm taking those ants on now. I've come up with that strategy because I'll just steamroll all of them over time. Give me 10 minutes, steamroll the lot.
I would imagine that many ants would be able to just pick you up, though. If they got underneath you,
they're strong, aren't they?
They're going to pick you up. If you think like one little ant can lift a massive leaf like this, right? Then a house-sized load of ants would probably be able to pick you up.
Yeah.
So you couldn't roll on them.
Didn't think of that.
In the UK, we have red ants, don't we?
Yeah.
And black ants. What's different?
Red ants, I think they have more of a toxin. So when they bite, I think they're a bit more aggressive, and they've got a toxin. So they almost have they'll leave have a reaction.
Right.
To the bite.
You can fight the red ants. I'll fight the black ants. It says no weapons, right? Would you consider a hose a weapon?
No. I also wouldn't consider a house-sized candy floss as a weapon. It's more of a distraction. So I would what I would do is chuck a load of sugar water at something random, like a car, and then leg it.
Yeah, so you wouldn't fight when you did run away, when then technically they would win.
So I'd just fight. I'd run and live to fight another day. Yeah, or well, I guess just you have to use distraction techniques. It would have to be sugar, and then stamp on them slowly. It would take about a week, but you've got plenty of candy floss you can nibble on yourself. Maybe eat some ants on the way in as well. There's ways. There's definitely ways. The longer you think about this, the easier it starts to become.
Think 300. Think the Spartans. Think that little gate where they narrowed them down. I would get like a massive thing with just a tiny hole where only one ant could climb through at a time. And then I'd just fucking one at a time. Bang, bang, squish, 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 squish. It'd take a bit of time. Squish, squish. And that's it. That's what you got to do. You got to slow them down. Don't let them all be together the size of a house. You got to thin them out, slow them down, get a nice little trail of them. Come on, Dan. We're cleverer than some fucking ants, mate. We could do this.
That's a good shout, actually. That's a good shout. That's a good. I like your strategy there. That's good tech. It's nice tactic. Yeah, and that's it. So or literally just have your mouth open by the hole.
Or just eat them.
Just eat them as they come in. Yeah.
You've managed to turn.
I'm telling you, the more you think about it, it's too easy.
Easy work. There we go. Right. Speaking about flying, thanks, Steve. That was a lovely question. It was imaginative, informative, creative, interesting, and got us thinking. Got our brains thinking, and didn't even need ChatGPT to answer it. But this next one's a tough one, right? It's from Lewis Hickman, the one, the only, the bearded Viking, who has his own axe throwing gaff down. I need to remember where he's from. Bloody hell, I keep forgetting. Down south somewhere. It's too far away for me to go.
It's Southend way. Is it Southend?
I want to say Chatham Medway. Sussex. It's out there, down there somewhere.
Let's plan a trip to his axe throwing session. Maybe we organise a Beardmail trip.
Yes, I would like to go and do that. It's too far away at the moment. But I haven't got a lot on. We could run there one day for charity, mate. Anyway, his question is, and this is interesting, open suggestion. It says, who would win in a fight?
Between who?
Exactly. It doesn't even say.
Oh, well, that can be anyone.
I think it means a fight between me and you.
It'd be a long endurance. Well, that probably wouldn't be. My stamina's fucked. You just have to just tire me out for 10 minutes, and then you've got me game on.
I'm just gonna poke you in the knee, mate. That's it. You fucked.
Yeah,
Man can't stand, can't fight.
I'd fall over. Just don't let me take it to the floor, because that's when shit gets real.
I'll just poke your eyes out, mate. Man can't see, he can't fight. I've seen Karate Kid, Dad. You've got no chance, mate. No chance.
I watched Cobra Kai.
I actually think that, and I'd love to see it, we need to set up some boxing matches for the bearded community, or naked mud wrestling. I think there should be some little fights and just see who wins. I'd be up for a mud wrestle. I think actually, I don't know if he's going to be able to do it still, but there's a couple of lads have signed up and done white collar stuff. So Gaz Tompkinson has just signed up to one. I signed up to one ages ago and then couldn't do it because I had to go to a funeral abroad. But I think that could be a thing. Beardy battles, and let's get a little ring, and maybe there's so many variations. Have you seen the power slap stuff that Dana White's doing? And have you seen the phone box?
Yeah, I've seen some of those ones that are just like sheepers, creepers. Some of those slaps.
They teach that in bloody SAS for killing people, the open hand part. It's like you just that's a knockout blow. I don't know how they've made it into a sport. It's ridiculous. But anyway, I digress. So who would win in a fight? I reckon it would depend on the rules, like Dan says. How would you fight through the window? Who's that banging away? Is that someone fighting to get out of a paper bag?
I think it's a Greg's delivery. I think Greg's have come to deliver some stock. I think it depends. Weapons, no weapons. I think there's so many variables there.
If you had that bow staff, if you were Donatello and me, no chance.
Yeah, you'd be at arm's length the whole time. If you had like a Frankfurter and I had like an Uzi 9mm, then easy win for you.
I thought you were going to say if you have a Frankfurter and I've got a Chipolata and we're on a cockfight.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer. I think. I mean, to be honest, all jokes aside, I'm not really much of a fighter. Like I've been in very few fights in my life, so I'd probably lose. I might get a lucky punch. If I caught a lucky punch, then I'd win. Simple as that.
Challenge you to an imaginary duel. Right, we're meeting up on Saturday. Imaginary duel though. You pick your weapon, say it now, and then I'll pick mine, and then we'll see who'll win. Go on. What would you pick?
Well,
me against you. One weapon. What are you bringing?
I bring my bow staff.
Ha! Well, you're fucked then, because I'm bringing a massive house-sized load of ants.
Oh, that's fine, because I can just be like, get in that little place with a little hole and just be like, so it's fine.
Nice. Thank you very much, Lewis, for your the answer to your question.
So violent, such a violent question. Where's the love, Lewis? Where's the love, you big axe-wielding Viking, all about violence?
All day long, I would beat the shit out of Dan, stamp on his face, kick him around like a... No, I wouldn't. I'm just joking, Dan. I'm joking. Next question is from Shane Smith. Oh, Smithy. Oh, Shane Smith. You won't like this one. It's about the old Damo pose, isn't it? It says, who is your favourite Damo poser? Dan, we've seen some Damo posers in our years, haven't we?
Yeah.
Who's your favourite?
I don't know. 85% of them aren't really doing Damo poses, are they? That's the problem.
That's why I've got the Damo pose defenders all over it. It's interesting because I've had a few famous people do it with me. And there's been some people Damo posing without it really realizing. So it's come up topical of this week because obviously Prince Harry is in the news a lot about his beard and that actually. Apparently Will said you got to shave your beard for the wedding. But when that wedding happened, actually on the TV, they were in the chapel or wherever it was, and they must have been admiring the ceiling, but they both were Damo posing. And I caught a screenshot of it on my phone. I think I posted it on Instagram. And I literally put just messaged Will and asked him to do a cheeky Damo pose live on TV for me, and he did. So that would be the most famous people that I've ever seen Damo posing, although they probably weren't actually Damo posing. Paul O'Grady, he did one for me on the old blind date. That was nice. But other than that, like anybody that's in DBFC that does the Damo pose competition every single week, they are my favourite. You sporadically turn up, don't you? But I mean, what do you want to do? You want to win some RUNESILK stuff? You've already got it all, haven't you?
Well, I've never, I don't, like I said, I genuinely, the last and only demo pose, right, that I've ever won was when, and I shit you not, was when I got one of these, and it's still on my keys.
There you go. That's a long time ago. See, if you don't play, you don't
Number
win, mate.
33. So, but that's the thing, right? That's the last demo pose I ever won. And this was when I first started out. I wasn't even one of the product masters or approved partners. I was still lustful to become an approved partner, still trying to get the attention of Damo for show, who was fobbing me off all the time. And then I won a Damo pose, and he had to say my name.
Fobbing.
You have to say my name.
Fobbing, and you got a fob.
Fobbing me
Dan,
off.
you have
I
won a
fob.
Damo pose since then. You're lying. You've won one in DBFC. I know for a fact.
Oh no, actually no, you're not wrong. I think I won a sticker.
There you go. See, you won a shit prize.
I think
Try harder.
I think that was before you had all the wicked swag, and then I won a sticker. To be honest, it's one of those things. I kind of forget. I kind of forget to post it up, and I see it. And at the same note, you're right, because I know what will happen. I'll probably win a RUNESILK comb, and I'll just be obliged to say keep it. So, save yourself the postage. Look, I've got shitloads.
Dan, you haven't seen the prize board, mate. I've got 3 prize boards now. There's 3 now.
I've seen it. But I won't say it. There is cash prizes, yeah. Who was it last week? Who was it last week? Gaz Allsop got onto it.
Oh, poor Gaz. He got on the cash board, then he got knocked off again. Absolutely shocking. Yeah. But he still liked his prize though. He won some Mr. Broom's oil and he loved it. So win-win.
Yeah.
Gavin Irwin. We've gone international. Gavin's from Northern Ireland, Belfast, you know. Big shout out to Gavin. And do you know why I'm going to shout out Gavin to the max right now? Because when I was in a bit of bother with the police, he came and picked me up in a helicopter and flew me to his submarine and taught me all about how to play Grand Theft Auto properly.
There you go. Oh, you finally found someone to play Grand Theft Auto with?
I found a Grand Theft Auto friend, and he's really fucking good at it. He is so good at it. Like, here's me bragging about, oh yeah, I've got this motorcycle club. Like, you can come into my club, we can play darts, we can have an arm wrestle. By the way, I beat him in arm wrestle and darts. I said, you can come in my club and all this. And he fucking picks me up in a helicopter and takes me to his £2.2 million submarine. I'm like, oh, I see. It's like that, is it?
A strong game. You're on PS4 though, aren't you? I'm on Xbox. So I was kind of, you can cross platform on GTA though, can't you?
I don't know, because the buttons will be different. I don't know.
Not really. They've still got these, and they've still got like they've still got.
I was joking. Because I was looking online for cheats, right? How to get more money? Because obviously I'm like, right, I need a submarine now. I've got like 10 grand in the bank, and he's got like 10 million. So I had a look to see if there was any cheats. Because in the olden days, when you were playing Grand Theft Auto, you up, down, left, right, left one, left two, X, Y, left, right, left, and you could do a cheat. But you can't do that anymore. But there was one, but it was only on Xbox. And I was like, bastard, I haven't got those buttons. Anyway, I digress. If anyone's playing Grand Theft Auto and they're on PS4 or PS5, my username is Damo4ShowFella, and it's not the number 4 because you can't have that on there. It might be. No, it is Damo4ShowFella, FELLA.
Why is it Damo4ShowFella? Was Damo4Show not available?
I don't think I could have it, so I had to put fella on the end. But also at the time, my boss used to call me, it's that Damo4ShowFella. But anyway, I love Grand Theft Auto Online. I'm an absolute nerd. I could play it for hours. Thanks, Gavin, for helping me out. Shall we read Gavin's question? Because I nearly forgot all about it. Gavin's question is, so is guitar picks a thing to use in beard balm now? And if so, are all the independent beard companies making their own? And P.S. Damo, it's a fix. Guitar picks, Dan. Talk about guitar picks. Do you have them in your swag?
No. So essentially, the guitar pick was added to products that were difficult to get out the tin. So if you struggle to get stuff out, like especially like a wax, for example, they're designed for a wax and sometimes for more of a beard wax. Trying to get it out the tin is obviously quite difficult, and you've really got to push your nail in. So the guitar picks essentially were just designed to get it out of the tin. The reason why I didn't do a guitar pick was because our beard balms aren't hard.
Softer.
More akin to a nice fudge.
Always about the
toffee.
Food. Always about the food.
course.
So yeah, so a lot of companies do them. I
Mm.
historically thought, yeah, it's great. It's a nice little freebie giveaway. I'm never going to use it because I'll always just use the back of my thumbnail. However, when I started getting into some of these dangerous mustache waxes, and I'm talking about the stuff you need to heat up, it's really, really tacky. I'm talking Firehouse, I'm talking Death Grip, I'm talking stuff laden with lanolin, but it's really tough and you've got to warm it up. I've actually found the pick is very useful, not for picking it out, but for keeping it off your hands, because the more you get on your hands, the more shitty and messy and horrible and crap it is, because then you touch your hairdryer and you flick up the temperature on your hairdryer or flick it down and it's transferring and it's really messy. So actually the picks are really good with those types of mustache waxes for keeping it off your fingers. Basically, you can apply it with the pick. Then I have a metal comb, actually, a small one for the tash. And I sometimes use the back end of the comb to pull it out as well. But anything to keep it off your fingers.
Do you know a good tip?
Your winky?
Tip of the week. Well, I have done
tip of the week. Tip of the week.
So if you are doing mustachio and you're more of a butter guy than a balm guy, what I do is once I have started my mustache with said wax, before I go in with the hairdryer and stuff, get the wax in, fingers are a little bit waxy, I dive into the beard butter and I clean off the waxy residue off my fingers, mix it all up, and I apply it to my beard, and then the beard butter essentially becomes a balm.
Tip of the week, tip of the week, tip of the week. Tippity tip 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 of the week. That was good.
Tip of the week. Yeah, so that's a thing. And also if you're struggling to get it off, run a little bit of beard oil in your hands, and it actually does break down the wax quite nicely. So when you're washing your hands, it helps to get it off.
Oil breaks down the wax. Standard. We all know that. I've actually got
not everyone knows it.
Well,
Nobody knows it.
When I said we all, I meant me and you. Let's crack on, because there's still some more, and I know we've gone over, but I'm enjoying it, so we're just going to crack on. We need to get all this done at least today. So Scott Harris, hello Scotty Too Hotty. He says, "Hey both," that's me and you. If your beard and moustache all of a sudden disintegrated into thin air, how would you feel about yourselves and your face? Would you feel like a naked mole rat?
I'd be more like a woman, more like a woman than you, more like a woman, more like a woman. I feel like a woman. I feel once, twice, 3 times a lady. I'd cry, Damo. My beard fell off. Like, I don't actually want to continue the next words that are going to come out of my mouth, because I could cast it into the ether.
Well, just for the YouTubers at this moment, I'm going to show you a picture of a naked mole rat.
They're horrible looking.
They basically look like your willy, really, a little bit.
Yeah. I'd look like one of those hairless cats.
There it is. So that's a naked mole. So you would feel a little more feminine, you think, Dan? How would you feel about yourself and your face?
My confidence level would drop. I would definitely wouldn't be as confident without my beard. It's like my superpower. Confidence plus 10.
That lends itself to his follow-up, which says, "Or would you be happy in your own skin? Be honest with your reply." So Dan, I think you have been very honest. Well done. How would I feel if is it just beard and that? Because to be honest with you, if I lost my beard, yes. I've had this for 9 years now, and I am very interested. And I wouldn't mind spending a couple of days with a much shorter beard, even a grade 2. I'm talking, but I don't want to go through 8 or 9 years to try and grow it back. If you did have the option to get rid of it and you could have it back the next day, I'd do it all day long. I would hate to be clean shaven, but that's only because I've always hated being clean shaven.
Same.
And I already hated it anyway. So to have been fully bearded and then go back to clean shaven, I know the difference is massive. So I know a guy who was growing his beard out for a while. He was trying to do a bit of a year, and he did it for a couple of months, and then he gave up. And then he basically said, "I'll start it again." And he tried it again. So he literally shaved everything, his head and his beard. And he looked so different. And that was being polite. He looked ridiculous, but because I'd been so used to seeing him always with facial hair of some sort. So I genuinely feel that if I had a clean shave now, I'd look silly. I would feel bad. My confidence would drop, and I certainly would be getting back on the beard game. But even if it was just, you know, to have a you know, a grade 2 sort of length, I wouldn't need the big beard to feel the confidence. It genuinely is. I don't like being clean shaven already.
I was tempted to actually go quite short recently. When looking at the new year, I was actually tempted to go for like an under 4-inch, just to kind of see what it would, just kind of give it a shot. And then I looked at myself in the mirror and I was like, yeah, fuck that. I've taken me long enough to grow this after cutting it up for the British.
I've been going through a little bit of a regrowth actually, because for the British, I'd actually cut my tash right down. I'd cleaned it off so I could go partial. I'd cut it here. And also, I've got a funny quiff that grows here. I've got a crown, a circular crown. And before, I'd had that cut back as well. So I've actually, over the last 5 or 6 months, been growing back out again. But I did have 3 inches off the bottom to thicken it all up. Now, since I've done that, I felt better about my beard. And I would consider having another 2 inches or another 3 inches, or like you say, going for a short one. However, I've literally just got an email for a casting opportunity for some work as a featured role, and they're looking for a big beard ZZ top. And I'm like, shit, it's a good job I didn't cut any more off, because, you know, prior to, basically, I wish I had the 3 more inches now, because I'd be better suited to that role and trying to get it. So it's a funny one, isn't it? What do you need your beard for? Work, what you look like. I've got something else coming up in the pipeline where it might need to be a bit shorter as well. So my beard length depends on what's going on for my life, really.
Whatever pays most. Just have to put them in a ring together, fight it off. Whoever wants to pay me the most.
No, you say
whether I cut my beard off or grow it.
I did get offered to do some work, and it was $2,000, but I had to go clean shaven, and I said no.
It's not worth $2,000. You'd raise more for charity.
I know. I always said if I were going to shave it, I'd do it. I'd do something epic, and I'd try and get $10,000, and the shave would be part of the doing something epic. Anyway, let's crack on, because we're 37 minutes in. It's the last one, actually. For now, there might be more for another time. This is from Red Paul 7. Is that red from? That's red from the graffiti from the I Beard days. Let me just have a little. I'm just having a little nosy, because that's his tag. He says quite a good beard question, which is nice. He says, "Can tie bands knacker your beard? I like to wear beard beads occasionally. So I was wondering if I'm doing damage." What do you think, Dan?
I think it depends, though. You have yours quite low, don't you? So I think it depends on how tight you're pulling it. If you're trying to bring it really tight up to your face, go on. That's why I should never shave. I'm never trimming my beard. Look at that, different person altogether.
For the listeners, get on YouTube quick, because Dan is making himself look different.
Look like imagine that, just the handlebars, look like a wrong one. If you have it too tight, yeah, you'll put tension on the beard, and eventually you'll start pulling it out. But I don't know about beads. I'm not the right person to answer that question, because I've not done enough research or testing to know what it would do. I never tie my beard up, because I never get it long enough to be point in tying it up.
Well, I do, and I'll tell you. I stopped using the metal beads because they're really narrow, because I used to have to use a keyhole threader to pull it through. You know, like you get a loop and then you pull it through, and that is a lot of potential damage to the beard. And also it can stay in that shape, and it's like I never wear a band when I'm sleeping at night. I let it go free in the night. When I do use a band, I've actually gone for these just cotton ones, but they're thicker and softer than what I use in my hair, because the ones I use in my hair are a bit thinner and longer.
I hate those.
These are no good for your beard. So I would recommend, if you are going to use, and I only literally do it just to keep it out the wind. I don't tie it up all the time, and I only ever do it loose at the bottom. So yeah, I would be careful and be mindful that it can damage it a little bit. And I wouldn't overdo it, but I have tried before, like just elastic bands. The first things I ever got were just a little black elastic bands.
Oh yeah.
Don't use them.
Nice.
So
cool.
you can get plastic ones. If you go to like go and have a little look in the girls' Claire's accessories or in the ladies' hair care section. You can get these clear ones that are like not
loom
spring
bands. They're a bit like loom bands.
Yeah.
Oh, they look like they're the almost like
ones,
stringy ones, like the old key rings that would. Oh, they're like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there's loads of different things. Just try different things and see what you feel. But what I've found is sensible is these, and they're only like Amazon. You get like 100 for a couple of quid or something, or less than that. I don't know. But yes, thank you very much for your question, Red Paul 7. Wouldn't worry too much as long as you're using something soft and not tying it up too tight. That's what I would say. Dan, we've done a 40 minutes worth of podcast answering.
Next episode is going to be quite fun. Hopefully, not going to divulge too much information, just in case for any reason the universe decides for us to not happen for any reason. But next week we've got a guest.
Ooh, a guest. Hey Dan, that's good that we've got a guest on, because we've done 2 episodes of Q&As. I've loved the Q&As, to be honest with you. It's nice, it's interesting. There's a little bit of beard stuff, there's a little bit of crazy stuff about ants, and a little bit about who's the best at fighting, which is great. And I do hope that people, as much as listening now or watching now, I do hope you give us a follow and a subscribe so you don't miss out what we're doing next. We don't charge anything for this. The way that you can support us is just by giving it a like, giving it a share, and also we're always up for your ideas. If you have any specific topics that you'd like to for us to talk about, then just let us know. I mean, we've done obviously shout outs on this episode, and I'm hoping that a lot of guys will feel warm inside. Like, oh, they answered my question. Oh, they're talking about me. So give it a like and a love and a share. But a subscribe is a massive help for us, because we really want this to grow. And the more followers, the more exposure, and the more stuff that we get, the more we can do. Because we're trying to do stuff and we want to do big stuff, but we just need you guys to help support it a little bit. So if you can, please do. And like Dan says, we've got a massive guest. Fingers crossed. If we make it happen, massive guest coming on.
Massive guest with a massive beard.
Well, if we play our cards right, we might be able to get a couple of guests on with massive beards soon, because there's lots going on in the beard world coming up for 2023. It's very exciting. Yeah. Top secret. We've gone on long enough now. Thank you very much for listening. Sorry it was a bit longer than normal. Also, if you like a longer podcast, let us know. If you want a shorter one, that's what she said, let us know. And we will do our best to accommodate for you. Thank you very much. Over to you, Dan, if you want to say bye.
Well, I was just going to say, if you like a shorter podcast, just listen to it in 15-minute bursts and come back to it, because we like long content. If you want a shorter podcast, you've got a 15-minute drive. We ain't going anywhere. Just click resume play. Carry on listening.
Listen to us on speed times 2.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, exactly that.
Bye. Thanks for listening or watching the Beardmail podcast. We have new episodes dropping at 07:30 a.m. every Wednesday in UK time. So we thank you very much for watching. Check us out on www.beardmail.co.uk for everything that's new and happening soon. Thanks for listening, guys.